Okay, well, out on the table here in front of me, I have everything that we purchased these past few days while we were out shopping with Sue at Black Rose Antique Mall in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Now, there are multiple Black Rose Antique malls, but we were at the Chambersburg location. It's one of my favorite locations. It's massive, the staff is really nice, and the prices are pretty fantastic. So everything we have here, we paid a total of $220 something for. I don't know the exact number, but I feel like anywhere else we probably would have spent a lot more. So I'm pretty pleased with the mix of stuff we have, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what we have and how much I can expect to get for it on eBay. Now, we do get a lot of comments, well, that's great that you think you can get that much, but how much do you actually get for it? If you're interested in how much we actually get for it, there is a link to our eBay store in the description. You can click on that, and then you can sort by sold listings, and you can see what everything sells for, and there you go. So that should appease all of you who are skeptics. So we're going to get through this stuff. There is a lot of it. Where should we begin? Okay, so let's start over on this side of the table. We're going to start with the bunny. Now, I just fell in love with this bunny. I think it's maybe a hobbyist piece, but I just thought it was the cutest thing. It's just super tall. It's perfect for Easter. And I feel like I've got spring fever or something because I'm seeing all these flowers and these bunnies and I'm just going nuts. And I feel like I need to start decorating for spring because it's happening. It's just not happening soon enough. We've got like no snow. We had like maybe one day of snow all winter. And if we're not gonna have snow, we might as well have spring. That's how I feel about it. So this piece right here actually came out of a booth called The Vintage Heidi. And I did not realize this. My viewers pointed it out in the comments over and over again. But she is actually on Instagram. And I looked her up. I forget what the name of her actual username is, but her name is Heidi Kenny. And she's so artistic and she does amazing work. So you need to go find her on Instagram. I will try to remember to put a link down below, but if I forget, maybe some of my viewers can drop it in the comments for people to go look her up. But I was just so impressed with her artistic capability. It's like so vintage and fun. And, but enough about that. I was just really like, because a lot of the stuff in the booth I thought was really neat, and I thought it was actually like, it was vintage stuff, but that's her artwork. And so I just thought it was phenomenal. So I wish I would have known that going into the booth because I would have talked about it then, but I found out after the fact. So this is me trying to make it right. So anyway, I got this out of her booth. I paid $5 for it because Easter is coming. I would expect to probably get $25 to $30 for it. Now it does have the beginnings of a crack down at the bottom, unfortunately, right here, which I did put in the listing. It's not terrible. There's no chips, but it does have that small defect. But I just love the pink eyes. I think it's adorable. I fell in love with it as soon as I walked in the booth. So we only paid $5 for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, we got this out of her booth as well. She's got great taste. So this piece right here, this is Napco. It's actually dated on the bottom, 1956. It is a planter. It was probably a florist piece, and it would have a bouquet, and you'd send it to somebody who was sick. I just, I like it. And actually, I just realized that this part right here is kind of rough, and you could actually write somebody's name on it. So that's actually really neat. I just realized that. But it does still have its original sticker. This piece right here, I would probably expect to get about $25 for. He's just a really fun dog. This is something that I would give to somebody who was sick, like Ashton, who has the strep again. I did take him to the doctor. They prescribed him a more powerful antibiotic, so we're gonna try to get through this, and we'll go from there. I know a lot of you guys were really concerned for him after the last video, but yes, we are on top of it. He's been to the doctor, so he's going through another round of antibiotics, and we'll see where that goes. So, okay, where are we? Let's talk about these. Now, I got this canister set. I walked into the booth and they caught my eye immediately just because they're so colorful, and I love the flowers. Of course, they're marked Italy. Italian pottery is just, I love the colors that they use. It's usually pretty colorful. So it's graduated. I'm not going to try to pick up all of them because I'll end up dropping them. There is some chipping along the edges, which I did point out in the video, and I also included in my listing that I have on eBay. It's unfortunate because they're beautiful pieces. I really wish that there wasn't any chipping, but what are you going to do, you know? They still would look really nice on a countertop, especially with spring. For these, I would probably expect to get 30 to 35 for. I don't think they're terribly vintage, but I don't think they're super modern either. I think they're just somewhere in between. So yes, I would expect to make, probably 30 to 35 for those. So this piece right here was 50% off. It is an Eldrith Pottery Cat. Typically I can get $20 to $30 for these, and I believe I paid 10 to 12 for it. So you guys know I'm obsessed with Eldrith, thanks to you. Thank you for that. That's your fault. We sold one not that long ago, and I think that one sold for 35. So I knew I could make money on that. But the stuff I was talking about when I spotted that included this beautiful bowl that we paid $12.50 for because it was half off. Now this piece is Murano, but it's got some spirals in it. I liked the color blue. It's just this pale blue, but it's contrasted with this like kind of greenish and the yellow, and it's just spirals, and it's got silver flecks. Most of the time I come across the gold flecks, so the silver, I like the silver. So this piece right here, I would expect to get 30 to 35 for. That's typically what I expect from these Murano bowls. Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised when they go higher, but when I find them, that's usually what I think about in my head, like how much can I get for these? I can get at least this. And then sometimes they go higher. So I keep that in mind when I'm deciding how much I want to pay for them. So $12.50, I decided I could pay that and make about 30 bucks for it. So I like that. We have this ashtray right here. Now this is porcelain china. It's a beautiful piece, and it is actually signed by the artist, kind of like we come across those plates all the time, and they're signed by the artist. You know, this was more than likely a blank, and somebody painted these beautiful roses on it and signed it. And a piece like this, you know, somebody puts so much work and effort into it. Yes, it is an ashtray. I know a lot of my viewers are like, why do you buy ashtrays? But there's, you know, it doesn't have to go to somebody who's a smoker, and who cares if it does, you know, but there's other ways that you can repurpose these. I know people use them for makeup brushes, the paint brushes. I know some have commented that they use them as, but there's so many uses, and people have named them in the comments before, and that I never even thought of. And it was when I was passing up the ashtrays that they started commenting and saying, you know, you should have picked that up because I use them for this. And I was like, really? So then it kind of opened my eyes to picking these up and grabbing them, but I really liked this, so I decided to grab it. Oh, and I would expect probably to get, I want to say $18 to $20 for this. So we got that. I'm trying to think what else we got for half off from that little area. Oh, we got the bird plate. Okay, so this plate right here, this piece is just stunning. I turned around, and the 50% off was like both sides of the aisle. So I turned around, and this was on the other side of the aisle, but it was still 50% off. So this piece right here, I actually listed it one night, and I'm sorry to whoever had bid on it because I realized I made a mistake in the listing and I had to pull it down and then put it back up. Somebody had messaged me and said, it doesn't say Judy, it says Jury. And I guess my eyes were playing tricks on me that night. So it is signed by O. Jury, who actually painted quite a few pieces, and they're kind of, I wouldn't say well known, but they painted a lot of pieces of porcelain. So I wanted to make sure that I had it right in the description. But this piece is Schumann Bavaria, and a lot of the Schumann pieces do have this reticulated edge, but just that bird. I was looking at some of the other pieces that are online by O. Jury, and they also have a parrot on them. So that must have been a theme that they really liked, but I love this plate. I love that it's this luster all the way around the bird that just kind of makes it pop, you know? So this piece right here, I would probably expect 25 to 30 because of the content and because it is a parrot and it's very, very nicely painted. It's not your typical floral pattern. There's a little bit more to it, so let's see here. 50% off area. What am I missing? Oh, here we go. So I also found this in the 50% off. And you can guess why I liked it so much. We're kind of on a bird kick. I think it's because I'm going this weekend to get another parrot, that I'm just like obsessed with birds, and I think it's all I'm seeing right now is birds, which isn't bad. I mean, birds are great, right? But this little, I don't know if it would be considered a bud vase or a spill vase. Spill vases would typically hold like sticks for when you were lighting the fire back in Victorian era. It would be called a spill vase, but it usually had a very narrow top. But I think this is more probably a bud vase, but it's got these two birds on it and it's got this luster finish pretty much all over, I'd say. The trunk is blue luster, this bird is a peach luster, and then this one's kind of a yellow luster, which I really liked. And of course you've got this iron paint, the really dark orange. But this is marked Japan, and it was just a unique piece because I come across a lot of vases over and over and over again, and this is one that I had never seen before, and I actually couldn't find any comps on it, so that was kind of exciting. I would expect probably to get about 25 to 30 for this because I couldn't find any like it. I feel like it's unique and it's got good subject matter. So I should put all my bird stuff in a pile because there's a lot of bird stuff like this. This is another in the 50% off. This is one that I feel I may have overpaid for. There's a few pieces that I feel I may have overpaid for, but I'm gonna add a disclaimer to that. So this entire antique mall is basically a giant dead zone. In the first video we posted, we had a comment from somebody saying, well, you should be looking this stuff up on eBay. I rely a lot on my knowledge and my experience. I still make mistakes. You know, what are you gonna do? I call it paying to learn. Sometimes, you know, I buy something like this where I'm not gonna make any money on it. Hopefully I don't lose money on it. I might break even. But you know, I've paid to learn, like, okay, the next time I see it, I know how much I can get for it. And I may or may not buy it depending on how much they're asking for it. But this entire antique mall is a dead zone. I was not able to look any of this up. This was all just me doing my thing. So this piece right here, usually sells for $8 to $15. It is made in California. I believe it's two lovebirds. I think we may have paid $7. I don't remember, but I think we may have paid $7 for it, maybe a little bit more. So we're probably maybe gonna break even on this. Hopefully we don't lose money, but I liked it, you know, and so it goes into the hands of somebody who's gonna appreciate it, one of my viewers, and I'm not upset about it. I know I'm gonna make my money on other stuff that I bought. You win some, you lose some, you pay to learn. That's how I feel about that. So, let's see here. These are two more pieces that I feel like I may have made a mistake on, so we're gonna talk about these as well. These were right at the beginning of this little series of videos. Now, these right here reminded me of something that I had picked up in my early days of picking. I actually picked it out of the trash. It was a beautiful reverse painted lamp with birds on it. And it was black like this and textured like this, but it had birds and it was reverse painted. So it was painted from the inside and you could see the colors from the inside. It wasn't painted on the outside like this. So there are differences between them, but it just had a similarity to it that I thought, you know, that could be something good. Of course, I got it home. I had cell service, I had Wi-Fi, I looked it up, and I believe they're made by Goofus Glass. Now, we've talked about Goofus Glass before. Goofus Glass is the clear glass where it's usually gold applied paint and red, and it's flaking and it's coming off and it's chipping and they look really ugly and they're usually not worth very much money. So that's Goofus Glass. So these vases that I paid $18 for, fortunately, I believe they're Goofus Glass. So there are some listed, just singles, and they're selling anywhere from $20 to $60. That's what the asking price for them is currently. None have sold. So I feel like if I list out my pair, I'm probably going to at least make my money back. I don't expect to make much more, but this was a paying to learn experience, because next time I see these, I'm going to know they're made by Goofus Glass. So I still think they're beautiful. You know, that's the one thing, is I can come across something that I feel should be worth good money and come to find out that it's not. For instance, Blendo. You guys know I love Blendo, and the resale value, it just isn't there for Blendo. Milk glass, I tell you, you guys think I hate milk glass. I don't hate milk glass. I just know for resale, it's hard to get a value out of that. But I do like it personally. I just, you know, for resale, it's really tough. So anyway, enough about that. In that same area that we got these Goofus Glass pieces, we got these. So these right here are kind of a brownish glass. They have these crimped edges. They're really pretty with these hand-painted flowers on them. They have a pontil mark on the bottom, which means they were hand-blown. These are more than likely Victorian, and I would love to attribute them to Bristol glass. Unfortunately, it's really hard to attribute things to Bristol glass because there were a lot of companies making similar vases, and I'm just not an expert on it. So I suspect they're Bristol, can't say for certain. Bristol glass, similar to Goofus, does not have a huge resale value. However, if you're only paying $4.50 for a pair of vases, I can expect probably to get 18 to 24 for the pair. But usually a single vase, you know, a blue single vase, I've sold those before, I can typically expect 12 to 15 for that. So, I mean, the values in these just are really low. So you got to be careful, and you got to make sure that you can get them for a low enough price to resell them. Because even though they're pretty, even though they're old, it's hard to resell those. Back to the 50% off stuff. This was something we got out of the 50% off. And I just thought this was beautiful. This has got some really good weight to it. Originally, I thought that this was possibly Japan. And I don't recognize the mark on the bottom. And it's actually got a number either over here or over here. But it's an incised mold mark. I just thought this was really nice. I thought it was Japan, but it's got some nice weight to it, and I find that normally the Japanese pieces are kind of a light ceramic. So I don't know. This piece has got me a little bit stumped, but I just thought it was really beautiful. I don't know if this is a chicken, a rooster, or a pheasant like they had on the tag, but I just liked the colors. I thought the colors were really nice, and the way it just kind of pops, and the way it's cut out. This piece right here, I would expect probably to get 20 to 25 for. Let's talk about this. So we grabbed this piece. Oh my goodness. He's swinging on his door right now. He's being a naughty bird. Hey, naughty bird. We're just gonna let him go. Okay, so this piece right here, this is Lennox China Jewel Collection. We've had these pieces in the past, and I can't remember exactly which animals we have, which is crazy. But we have had these in the past, and typically we can sell them for $20 to $25. I bought the cat thinking that I could get $20 to $25 for it. I believe I paid $8.50 for it. It sells for about $10 to $15. So again, another piece that I might make a little bit on it, but it's not going to be a lot, unfortunately. But we'll make it up in other areas. So at the end of this, I should figure out where I'm making my money and where I'm not, because I feel like I'm saying that a lot in this video, but it is what it is. All right, so this piece right here was also in the 50% off, and I think it's just absolutely stunning. I love it. I'm usually not a fan of the pieces with the waterfront house with the swan. That's more Sue's thing. I'm not usually a fan of it. Typically they're attributed to Noritake, and it's just always the same, and it's oranges, and it's just like, here's a swan and a house on everything. And I'm not I know it's some people's taste. It's not mine. I'm not a fan of that. But this piece really caught my eye because it was different. And it wasn't all orange. It wasn't like overpowering orange. And it's really nicely painted. It's not sloppy at all. It's a really nicely painted compote. And it's got the moriage in gold with this purple and blue. And I just looked at this and thought that this was beautiful. I like this a lot. And I thought it was different. It does say made in Japan on it. It is not Noritake. But this was different and I liked it for its uniqueness. And the fact that it didn't look like all the other pieces with the waterfront house. And there's no swan. So I got this piece. And for this I would expect probably to get like $30 for. Let's see what else we got. I'm saving that. But let's talk about our little puppy. Wait, before we talk about our little puppy, I'm gonna restart my camera because we're about to get cut off. All right, so this little spaniel puppy dog here is just a little figurine. It's got spaghetti textured ears. So we talked about spaghetti texture before. It basically just looks like little spaghetti noodles. And it was just really cute. It's more than likely made in Japan, however, it's not marked. You can typically tell if it's Japan versus Italy because Italy has the larger noodles and the spaghetti noodles from Japan are like angel hair pasta, if that makes sense. So this little guy right here, I would expect probably to get 10 to 12 for. And he's just a cute little spaniel. He looks like a spaniel. I'm assuming that's what he is. Let's check out these. So we got 2 peach luster planters from 2 separate booths. This one I think was about $5. This one was $3 or $4. For these I would expect probably to get 12 to 15 each. This elephant is trunk up for good luck. He's great. He's marked made in Japan. Also marked made in Japan. This is just a frog rocking out on his base. So we got these 2 little guys. I thought they were neat. So got those. I grabbed this. And at first I thought she was a planter. I don't know why I thought she was a planter. She is really just a figurine. She's a cat over a wash bin and she's a figurine. So I'm a little perplexed by it. I don't know if maybe she's a character from something or if she just is a thing. I was like, I'm like, is she a bank? Is there a hole in her head? No, she's just a figurine. That's cool. Okay. I'll take it. She's really cute. But for her, I'd expect probably to get 18 to 20 because of her size and because, well, she's pretty cool. So there we go. I didn't actually look up comps on her because when I brought her home, she was super dirty and I had to clean her. And so she didn't get listed yet. So hopefully by the time you guys are watching this, she's up. Oh, where are we? Okay. We only have a few items left. This cat that I have right here, in that booth was this amazing needlepoint dancer art deco piece. It was amazing. I left it in the car, so I don't have it for this video, but it was like so art deco and so cool. If you watch the video, you know the one I'm talking about. Haggy, shh. Now all the birds are gonna get going. That piece, I believe I paid $14 for. There may have been a discount on the booth, but for that, I would expect probably to get close to $40 to $50 just because of the subject matter. I mean, it was really cool. The colors were fantastic. It was art deco. It was phenomenal. But you're gonna have to go back and watch the video if you want to see it because I left it in the car. So there. All right, I grabbed these little guys. They were also 50% off. Sue and I had a debate over what these were. And I was pretty sure I looked at them and I'm like, you know, they have a number on them. And the only thing that brought that to mind was because I recently read an article about Plymouth Rock being vandalized. And so I had read the article about that, and so it was fresh in my mind, and I saw this and I thought, you know, I think that's Plymouth Rock. I've been there when I was a kid. We used to take field trips to Plymouth Plantation and Plymouth Rock. So I've been there, but it was like, I must have been in kindergarten or first grade. So little creamer and sugar, probably souvenir pieces, but they're neat. I would expect probably to get like $12 for these, and I don't think I paid very much for them. I can't remember how much. We got these. These were also half off. Don't remember what I paid for them, but I got 4 of them. There is an issue with one of them. You can see if it's gonna focus for you. It doesn't want to focus. But on the handle there is a crack. It doesn't go all the way through the handle, but one of them does have a cracked handle. These kind of perplexed me. They kind of look like a slip, but they're not marked on them, and I don't know. Like, I look at them and I can't think of, you know, what country are these from, who made these. They've got a good weight to them. They're pretty cool. They're green. Usually you see them in blue. So I thought they were neat. They're probably beer steins or mugs for beer. I mean, you could put your coffee in there if you like coffee as much as I do. Whatever. For these, I would probably expect, I want to say 28 for, maybe a little bit more. And the only reason I mean, I would expect quite a bit more, except that I have that one with the crack in the handle, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to rein it in just a little when I see how much those are worth. So let's talk about this. We have this little purse. Now, I did open it up. I had a hard time doing that while we were shopping because one-handed makes it tough. I did not see any tags on the inside, but what it did remind me of is the Whiting & Davis mesh purses. It has the same texture as the Whiting & Davis purses. And so I grabbed it. I thought it was a nice little evening bag. The mesh kind of makes it sparkle, and that's what I liked about it. So I think I only paid like $6 for this. I would expect to double my money on this piece. I would expect probably to get 12 to 15 for it. So I grabbed that. Talk about this. Now this piece right here, I bought from the Mid-Century booth that I love so much. I actually got my enormous bittersweet vase out of there. If you guys watched that video, it was quite a while ago. And I bought that for myself because the prices there, he's usually pretty on point with his prices. And so when I found this for $10, I should have known better. I should have said, you know, there might be something wrong. And I did. I looked it over from the front and I thought, you know, there's nothing wrong with there. But the problem is on the back, there is a chip. So I looked over the front and I thought, yeah, no, that's great. That's good. But on the back, there is unfortunately a chip that I did miss because it was only $10. And I should have known. I should have known when it was only $10. I should have been like, that's too good to be true. But I didn't. I was just so excited to have found it that I ignored that fact. But it's just a mid-century modern looking sculpture. It's very lightweight. It is ceramic, but it's neat. It's a seagull, I'm assuming. And I think because it's damaged, I could expect to get maybe 20 to 25 out of it. I think if it was not damaged, I would expect 40 to 50 for it. I think that's what they typically go for. I'm not sure. I think I saw a comp similar to 75, but I just can't remember if that was for 2 of them or just 1. So I'm not sure about that. Let's see. What do we still need to talk about? This piece. This piece right here. Now this piece is amazing. And I didn't realize just how amazing it was when I found it. Because I found it, I looked at the price of $15, and I said, you know, I could probably get 20 to 25 out of that, you know, but I didn't realize what I had. So it is Tillowitz of Germany. It says hand painted. Now, a lot of the times you'll come across these pieces, they'll say hand painted, but it's kind of false advertising because part of it is hand painted, but not the whole thing is hand painted. And I've found this times in the past, so I knew what to look for. Now, the flowers, the branch is all hand painted. The background is hand painted. The bird is a transfer. So the bird is transferred, the rest is all hand painted. But the great part about this dish that I didn't realize in the video, and I realized when I was taking pictures, is this edge right here, this black edge, is tarnished silver. So the entire piece, the edge, this really cool edging, that, my friends, is silver. So I was so excited when I realized, I'm like, Andrew, come here. And he came over, I'm like, is that silver? And he looked at it and he said, sure is. I said, oh my gosh, will you look at that? So it is tarnished. We don't typically polish silver when we list it. We typically leave that up to the buyer. Some people like it polished, some people don't. So we'll leave that up to the buyer. And for silver like this, it's so thin that it takes like a special silver polish, because what the silver polish is actually doing is it's like taking away silver to make it shine. So that always makes me nervous. So we're gonna let somebody else do that after they've already bought it and received it, and then if they want to try to take the silver off, they can. But this piece right here, because I realized that it's silver after my original judgment of the piece, I think I can get a little bit more for it, and I'm gonna say I could probably get $30 to $40 for this because it does have a silver rim. So I'm in love with this piece. I know I had to list it right away because if I didn't, I would keep it. It was really hard. Lastly, our last piece is this piece right here. So this is really weird. I don't know if this is, I don't know what this is. Last year sometime, Andrew and I were at the Goodwill and we picked up this framed postcard, and it was in German, but it was these monkeys who were just getting blasted, and they had like beer and they were drunk, and it was like, that is a cool postcard. Look at those monkeys, they're drunk. And so I saw this, and sure enough, here's some monkeys getting drunk, and I'm like, that looks like the postcard. So I decided to grab it just because I thought it's an interesting subject matter. Like, here's some monkeys. I don't know. I have no idea. If you know, let me know, because I'm confused by this. Now it does have gold around the rim, so I don't know if that would make it a shaving mug or not. I just noticed the gold. I didn't notice that when I grabbed it, but it's an interesting piece. Maybe Germany. I would think it was Germany, but I'm not sure. So, oh wait, this piece. Oh, this. I love this piece. And I stared at the back for so long, and the back is just so hard to read. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to catch it. It is so hard to read, and to top it off, I don't think it's in English. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to figure this out. And as we discussed in the last video, when I can't figure something out, it rarely ever makes it up on eBay. It eventually makes its way up there, but when I can't figure something out, I usually sit on it until I do. I have a hard time letting stuff go when I don't know what it is that I'm looking at. So this might sit around for a little bit until I figure it. It does look like it says Herod, H-E-R-O-D at the top, and then the bottom says something not in English. So I don't know. But anyway, this is everything that we got, minus the beautiful needlepoint that I left in the car. Sorry about that. I wish I could have showed that to you guys again, but it is what it is. I wanted to address one last thing before I end this video, because I know the past 3 videos I've broken them down and I had them running about 15 minutes. So my videos, when they're shopping videos, typically run between 15 and 25 minutes. That's kind of my optimal time. When I have raw footage that is probably about 30 minutes, I'll cut it in 2 and I'll make it 15 and 15. And my reason for doing that is because as a creator, as a YouTuber, I have access to all of my statistics. So I can see how many minutes people are watching. I can see like, okay, this is how many viewed minutes I have for the month. I can see all of these analytics. And in all of those analytics, I can see my viewer retention, which means I could see how long people watch the video before they click off. And my viewer retention is 13 minutes and 16 seconds. That is my viewer retention. So my average viewers watch my videos for 13 minutes and 16 seconds. So the reason that my videos aren't 30 minutes long is because most of my viewers, my average viewers, can't sit through a 30-minute video. They will click off by 13 minutes and 16 seconds. So I know that isn't ideal for a lot of you, but for the majority of my channel, that's kind of the time frame where I have to keep it. So I do apologize to those of you who would prefer longer videos. I just have to, I'm looking at my analytics and I see what's best for my channel, and 15 minutes is a good time frame to keep my videos. So my shopping videos are going to continue to be between 15 and 25 minutes. On occasion, I'll push them a little farther. If I don't have 30 minutes worth of footage, if it's just 28, I'll put out a 28-minute video. But once it hits 30, I'll chop it in half and it'll be two 15-minute videos. So I hope that clears a little bit of that up. I know I respond to comments occasionally on that issue, but it's just like after a while, I'm just repeating myself over and over again. And I figured, you know what? It makes more sense to sit down and just talk about it in a video. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this haul video and seeing all this fantastic stuff. And make sure you stay tuned tomorrow. Andrew goes to the flea market and I join him for a little while. So we got some really awesome stuff, including this piece of art that you can't see up here. Amazingness. But we get that in tomorrow's flea market video. So hope you guys enjoy and I'll see you tomorrow. Later. My family calls it my superpower. It's my ability to see value in things that other people might overlook.